Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back again. Our weekly meeting of Risalah reading Risalah again from 10th word. We stopped last week at sixth truth, and we're going to be reading like from the sixth truth where we stopped at the end. And inshallah, we have our panelist or joining us from Kulajan from joining us from England, and then we have Mustafa will be joining us from Turkey, and then of course we also have other brothers who had been panelists and like listeners for a long time, and they all will be with us again. All right, so last week we stopped at Sixth Truth and we started reading the names of Al Jalil and Al Baqi. And I would like to, again, like instead of recapping or summarizing and everything, so I'd like to just shortly like to read from the top again one more time, and then that'll give us a little bit of course, about what we discussed, and we will remember again. And I think it's in one of the important parts of the 10th word, the truths section. And that'll give us like again like into of course I'm gonna just now cap like in a minute what we discussed and go back to what we have like it's been talked from last week. All right, so without further ado, let's just begin. And then like we're gonna follow the same format and going back to again like in our panelists and the brothers what would like to just discuss and what would like to say all together. All right, let's begin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen wa salatu wa salam ala rasulina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. All right, reading from 10th word, Sixth Truth, and this is a translation by Colin Turner for the ones that who are going to be following different, of course, some translations. I'm just going to remind one more time. All right, so, Sixth Truth, the gate of splendor and eternity. The manifestation of the names glorious Al-Jalil and eternal Al-Baqi. The splendor of divine lordliness subdues and commands all beings from atoms to suns, from particles to trees, and turns them into obedient soldiers. Is it at all possible then that divine lordliness should concentrate its entire attention on these wretched beings that pass brief lives here in this temporary abode, and not create an eternal realm of everlasting splendor in which to manifest itself unendingly? Consider the changing of the seasons and the sublime motions of the planets, which move like aeroplanes through the heavens. Consider how earth acts as humankind's cradle, and the sun as its lamp, and how all things are subjugated to human beings for their use. Consider the awesome transformations that are taking place all the time, such as the revival and decoration of the dry, dead earth each spring. All of these things show that behind the veil, a sublime lordliness exists. They show that behind closed doors, a most splendid kingship has the reins of all things in its hand. Now, a lordly kingdom like this requires subjects that are worthy of itself, as well as a mode of manifestation that is appropriate to its dignity. But if you look at the hostel, that is this world, you will see that the most important class of subjects and those whose functions are the most comprehensive of all are gathered here only for a brief moment and under the most wretched of circumstances. The hostel fills and empties each day, and all those who come here stay only as long as it takes for their service to be tried and tested. The hostel, too, changes hour by hour, and all of the monarch's subjects stay only for a brief moments in order to gaze upon the samples of the glorious Maker's generosity. This abode is, in this sense, like a gallery where the Maker's subjects come to inspect his miraculous works of art with a buyer's eye. Then they then disappear. The exhibition also changes from minute to minute. Whoever leaves the exhibition never returns, and whoever steps foot through the door will ultimately have to depart. Now, the state of this hospice and the circumstances that attend here show that beyond this place, beyond this testing ground, this gallery, this exhibition hall, there are permanent palaces and everlasting abodes which display in full God's sovereignty. Whatever is on show in this temporary exhibition hall is only a sample, a replica of those pure and priceless originals which exist beyond this world in numberless treasure houses and gardens. If we strive in this world, it is for the sake of what awaits us in the world to come. We work here and we are rewarded in the hereafter. Bliss awaits everyone there in accordance with his or her capacity, so long as they do not waste or throw away what they have been given here. Yes, it is impossible that eternal kingship would concentrate exclusively on these wretched transient beings, on this wretched transient beings. And I think it's a good time to take a break to now, I think like this is just a great summary. And to start again, like it particularly gives us how like some nice summary of whatever, like of course, just Rasander is talking about. And he's touching like in every different kind of places. And so far we have discussed again and again, of course, but then, like in this one, how beautifully it is now so far had been built up until here for the like the previous, of course, the parts that we read, like the other like, previous like, truths. And now I would like to go back to just scroll up and where we like, started. And I know like we discussed and you guys like, gave us some good examples. And now I'm gonna go back to my panelists and ask them, how would you like to now just gather our thoughts? And what is the first thing that just basically just catches your attention and would like to share with us, especially not the first paragraph, of course, just we discussed, but then what would you like to add? And just how would you guys like to connect these dots? And what would you like to share with us? And I would like to start again with Mustafa Palat, and his punishment shall continue, in other words. Yeah, Mustafa, what would you like to say, starting for like this week, and especially the second paragraph for this week's discussion?
Thank you for
Mhm.
I mean I was absent last week,
Yeah.
so
Yes.
I'm trying to warm up and try to wrap up my
Yeah,
thoughts on this passage.
of course. Yeah,
But
that's all right.
the language caught my attention first
Mm-hmm.
of all. So
Mm-hmm.
in the past, I that's my feeling. My maybe it might be
Mm-hmm.
wrong, but the way Isat was talking, Nursi, on this
Mm-hmm.
topic was more of a bringing evidences and
Mm-hmm.
trying to prove the existence of hereafter. But in this particular truth, I felt more like he speaks more authoritatively.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of abode is so
Mm-hmm.
transient,
Mm-hmm.
therefore, and everything that comes into this abode lives and spends a short period of time in this life. Therefore, there has to be an eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I felt like there is more of an authority here.
Mm-hmm.
This has to be this way.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be an eternal life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my feeling, and it just gives you examples of how we should feel about this world. Right?
Mm-hmm.
This is a transient life. This is a hostel and
Mm-hmm.
hospice,
Mm-hmm.
and we shouldn't be focused too much into this worldly life, but rather we should be focusing on what will be coming next, which will be
Mm-hmm.
eternal. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that we see is just an example.
Mm-hmm.
It was a replica,
Yeah.
and the originals are in the other life, in the next
Mm-hmm.
life. And another thing that caught my attention is the example that Ustad frequently uses is the veil example. So what
Yeah.
we see in this life
Mm-hmm.
is we see the things from a veil. And
Mm-hmm.
what's a veil? Veil only shows some portion of what the
Mm-hmm.
reality is.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we see the reality from a veil. So what we see in this worldly life is just
Mm-hmm.
a portion of it. And but if we can look, we shouldn't be focusing to the veil. Let's say if
Mm-hmm.
you're focusing on a veil, you only
Mm-hmm.
see the veil. If
Right.
you try to keep your focus ahead of the veil, you see the truth,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So this is an example, very powerful example that we should be
Very nice.
focusing not
Yeah.
just this transient veil, but the veil. And the other thing that about interesting about the veil example is
Mm-hmm.
veil with if there is a wind coming out, right? The
Mm-hmm.
veil makes some moves, right? Like
Yeah.
wave,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and it creates
Mm-hmm.
a movement that
Mm-hmm.
may attract your attention,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it might let your focus out. And
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
the movements that we see
Mm-hmm.
shouldn't keep our focus too much, but we should focus
Right.
behind the movement veil,
Mm-hmm.
what is eternal and not transient. So that's
Yeah.
my take.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right, that's a good start. Yeah, I like it. I like the comments. Yeah, especially just yeah, just basically thanks a lot for sharing them. And yeah, let's see just a minute what Kolajan would like to add on top of this. I'm kind of curious and what and Mustafa is looking at give some good examples and everything. Yeah, Kolajan. Before Kolajan, if you don't mind, so I think like Said raised his hand, so maybe he's got a question. Maybe you'd like to just wrap it up or something. Said, go ahead. What would you like to say? Just saw your.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum
Yes,
salam. Mhm.
uh, I just noticed here the terminology regarding the timing stuck
Mhm.
using.
Mhm.
Uh, let's say, I don't know if there was an intention, maybe there is, or
Mhm.
just some relation that he's using. Like
Mhm.
what I noticed in the second paragraph, uh, the hostel fills and empties each day. I'm not going to
Mhm.
go all the way. I just would like to highlight the
Mhm.
times, the wording, and regarding the time, I will like to share and ask your opinion if there is any
Certainly,
correlations.
please. Mhm.
Yeah, the hostel fills and empties each day. He uses there for the hostel terms
Mhm.
each day, and then
Mhm.
the day terms is narrowing to the following statements.
Mhm.
But actually, in original text, actually, instead of hostel, uh, it is okay. Let me see the original one. Yeah, the original one, the hostel is misafirhane, for
Mhm.
the hostel is used, and
Mhm.
the second hostel actually is used same as misafirhane. It's like in original text, it's meydan. It's not the
Mhm.
same word, but in
I
English,
see.
it's the
Mhm.
meaning is actually basically the same,
Mhm.
but then in order to make my point, I have to use the
Mhm.
original wordings.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
it's first is the misafirhane, that is hostel fees for each
Mhm.
day, and the
Right.
second is the meydan in the original. I
Mhm.
think area or just I don't know how we
Mhm.
translate it.
Yes.
And
Mhm.
then it's hostel change by then hour by hour. Now instead
Mhm.
of day,
Right.
instead use hour by hour. And then
Mhm.
if we continue, then
Mhm.
now we use the exhibition, the
Mhm.
end of the paragraph. Uh,
Mhm.
for the exhibitions,
Mhm.
he used change from the minute to minute.
Mhm.
Now the time is getting
Mhm.
smaller. For
Yeah.
the
Yeah. Mhm.
Safirhane, for the hostel, he uses
Mhm.
each day. For the
Mhm.
second Maidan, he uses
Mhm.
hours, and the exhibitions, he uses minute to
Mhm.
minute.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
is there any meaning,
Mhm.
or just scope is bigger and getting narrowing with the meaning
Certainly.
correlated to meaning?
Mhm. Yeah,
I
let's
just
just like yeah,
noticed.
I'd like yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Just if you have any comments on point, I like to.
Certainly, certainly. I
It's
believe
it's
that
it's kind of hard.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Of
wrap
course,
it
of
up
course.
because it's a long
That's a
long
good
paragraph.
Certainly,
Yeah.
certainly. I mean, this is what we like to see. Of course, I'm just reading them like it's been sentence by sentence, sometimes like word by word. Now, I would like
Yeah,
to
but I
hear
think
this. Yeah,
there might be the reason why you start use for one
mhm.
word, one analogy, use day one,
Absolutely.
then it says hour, and then he
Mhm.
uses minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Just I like to hear if anyone has any
Of
comment.
course. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. Now, like, it's a
Yeah.
great kind of segue. Just let's just refer to the translator. So, Konlejam. So, like now, Said is asking. So, like now, let's go basically just sentence by sentence, maybe word by word. What made you two like use the words like in a hostile and or, like instead of misafrane or like maybe just maidan is still like again using the same thing. So please like share with us and if you can just and of course I'm just on top of like what would you like to say what Mustafa has just shared with us. Yeah, floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum.
Welcome, Shalom.
It's a long time ago since I translated this,
I bet.
so I
Yeah.
don't know what the
Uh-huh.
decisions were that I took on using
Of
hostel
course.
for
Yeah.
Maidan as well.
Mhm.
Uh, but obviously, the going from day to day, hour
Mhm.
to hour, minute to minute is a
Mhm.
progression in the original text,
Right.
which shows us that change happens
Mhm.
in various spheres at different times.
Mhm.
The very fact that we have hours and minutes and days and seconds and milliseconds
Right.
allows us to drill down into time and creation and
Mhm.
to understand that at every moment,
Mhm.
there's nothing less than a moment for us. Allah is creating afresh.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yawm kulli yawman huwa fi sha'n. At
Right.
every yawm, at every period of time that's imaginable,
Mhm.
he is in a different manifestation or a different kind of creation. So
Mhm.
I think that it was the rationale that
Mhm.
Ostad had there.
Mhm.
Um, Going back to the general thing,
Mhm.
if we can scroll up slightly,
Sure.
yeah.
Mhm.
It says here, a lordly kingdom like this requires subjects that are worthy of itself.
Mhm.
So Allah is completely manifest
Mhm.
to himself, in and of himself.
Mhm.
So there's nothing that's covered up. We are covered up by the veils which exist in us as created beings.
Mhm.
So it's not that Allah, it says here, um, Allah wants to show himself to us, to show his beauty. Ustad uses these terms all the time. His
Mhm.
beauty is there in absolute form. And, he is Baqi here.
Mhm.
He is pre-eternal, post-eternal.
Mhm.
But we are veiled from it.
Right.
And therefore, it makes no sense for us to remain veiled because who has he created it for? We are the most um, the most special. He says we are the special creatures here, right? The
Right.
most important class of subjects because
Absolutely.
we are human and we also have the ability to understand and reflect his divine names.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it's not that he wants to show, he wants us to discard the veils. He wants the
Mhm.
veils to be discarded.
Mhm.
And why would this be? And again, I go back to the example we had last week
Mhm.
of Maulana Rumi talking about the child in the womb, the baby in the womb.
Right. Mhm.
Everything that the baby has and does and is and eats and experiences in the womb is a tiny, tiny sample of what he's gonna or she is gonna experience outside the womb, right?
Absolutely. Right.
So it eats, it breathes, but it breathes in a very, very, how can I say, inauspicious atmosphere, which we wouldn't be able to tolerate.
Mhm.
It eats through a tube in its stomach.
Yeah.
It's in the dark. All of these things. It's being nourished by blood directly.
Yeah.
Um, so these are samples of what exists outside the womb,
Mhm.
clearly. And also, we said that the baby has facilities and abilities, faculties that it can't use inside the womb. The
Right.
baby has two sets of teeth, but
Yeah.
there's nothing to chew in the womb. The
Mhm.
baby has eyes, but there's nothing really to see in the womb. It's so dark.
Yeah.
So, what
Mhm.
sense would it make if Allah created this miracle of artistry in the
Mhm.
in the womb of the mother, but then never ever let it come out to see the source of all the samples that it's been experiencing. It
Yeah.
would make
Yeah.
zero sense,
Zero
given
sense.
that Allah is fully manifest anyway.
Mhm.
All that needs to be done is that veil of the womb needs to be pushed aside and the baby needs to emerge.
Right.
Um, so, you know, it's the reasonableness of this. And Mustafa, I don't know why you punished him. He didn't. It was our other brother last week who needed to be punished.
Yeah.
Mustafa comes from time to time. But
Yes,
anyway,
yeah, yeah. But anyway, like, yeah,
anyway,
we'd like to do
uh,
it. Yeah.
yeah, we like punishing him. Yeah. So
Mhm.
Mustafa mentioned authoritativeness.
Mhm.
Ustad
Mhm.
speaks with an authority, and that's a
Mhm.
very good point because in the first 12 aspects, he was
Mhm.
looking at the creation and he was arguing for the reasonableness of
Mhm.
Akhirah. And that's as much as we can do, obviously, because we
Yeah.
can't empirically demonstrate it.
Mhm.
But what he's doing here in the truths, in the second part of the 10th word, he is arguing from God. God is the
Mhm.
basis of his argument. It's the classic argument from God. And of course he can talk with absolute authority
Yeah.
because his proof is God himself.
Mhm.
So if God is like this, if God is X, then Y, if we go
Mhm.
make a syllogism of it, if
Mhm.
X, then Y, if God is X, then Y. If God is absolute and he is the creator,
Yeah.
then, his
Mhm.
creation will also be reflecting him. It's a
Mhm.
product of
Yeah.
his creative act.
Yeah.
And therefore, if he is also manifest eternally, then there must be creatures who
Mhm.
will be able to gaze upon him eternally. This is a very reasonable proposition, and it
Yeah.
has the authority of the
Mhm.
belief in God, which is the basis of the argumentation
Mhm.
in this second part of the 10th word.
Mhm.
So I think we have to focus on reasonableness, particularly in the first half, but
Mhm.
absolute authority. If you believe in Allah, then
Mhm.
these things follow on.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you are a creator, you create. If you
Mhm.
create eternally, then you have eternal creatures.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
these things are very, very reasonable. And then when we use the analogies and the
Mhm.
metaphors,
Mhm.
the analogies, particularly the Ustad, uh, it's full of analogies in the Risale. Just as in Quran, there are lots of analogies,
Yeah.
lots of
Yeah.
mithal.
Mhm.
So I think Rumi's example of the baby in the womb is very, very apposite here. I think it works very well.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's great, great comment. Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, it's just like gonna help us to see like it's been basically just one by one, and just like thanks a lot like reminding just the analogies like we shouldn't forget, and plus I mean, it helps us to see clearly. And anyone else would like to comment? And I see like I don't if I didn't miss any stand raised hands. No, there's no one. All right. Anyone, so would you like to add anything else on top of it, or should we continue reading?
No, thank you. But I
Mhm.
just want to,
Mhm.
emphasize that punishment is also in the hereafter.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, I will not be
Mashallah.
punished eternally.
Mashallah, you won't be punished there. We'll do it here,
Inshallah,
inshallah.
inshallah,
Inshallah, yeah.
inshallah.
I should be
Yeah.
punished here, not to be punished in the hereafter.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. All right. That's great. Okay, let's continue reading, shall like where we left off. So, and I think we've finished this, the transient beings. Yeah, we stopped at consider. All right, let us continue a little more and then continue like discussing the next paragraphs, hopefully. All right. All right, so Sidney goes on like this. Consider this truth through the lens of the following allegory. You are traveling along a road, and ahead of you, you see a hostel, a caravanserai, if you wish. The caravanserai has been built by some famous local celebrity as a place where people who visit him can come to stay. Millions of dollars have been spent on the architecture, the furnishings, and the decorations of the caravanserai so that guests may enjoy and benefit from their one night's stay there. However, A one-night stay is all that anyone is allowed. And so obviously, any guest who overnights there will only be able to enjoy a tiny percentage of all that the caravanserai has to offer. And so each guest takes a photograph of the objects on show in the caravanserai with his or her special camera. Furthermore, the caravanserai owner's servants record with great precision the conduct of all the guests, noting everything down and preserving it all with great care. For every day, the owner changes the decor of caravanserai and destroys most of the ornaments on display, replacing them with new ones before the next group of guests arrives. Now, after seeing such a caravanserai, would any doubt remain that the person who has constructed that building also possesses numerous permanent dwellings filled with inexhaustible treasures and precious items and an uninterrupted flow of great generosity? The generosity that he demonstrates in the caravanserai is merely meant to whet the appetites of his guests for those things that he keeps elsewhere. The caravanserai is there simply to awaken their desire for the gifts that he has prepared for them and which are stored in another place. And so if you are able to look at the caravanserai that is this world without collapsing into drunkenness on account of it, you will understand the following 9 principles. First principle, you will understand that this world, like the caravanserai, does not exist for its own sake. It is impossible that it should assume this shape by itself. Rather, it is a well-constructed inn or hostelry designed to receive the endless caravans of beings which, one after the other, arrive, spend the night, and then depart again. Now, let's read the second one also. The second principle, you will understand that those who stay in this hostel are guests and travelers, and that they are invited by their generous sustainer to the abode of peace. Let's stop here and let's just go back and just regroup, looking at our thoughts and everything, and just a little bit. So now I think that there's a great, like we just said, so it's a great kind of segue again. Like now, just we have a great analogy and let's just remind ourselves again, and let's just, get more familiarized, like in ourselves with this example. And and then maybe looking to share like as many more examples that, or like experiences that we all had, and or looking maybe some other kind of like in the parts that you remember from different parts of Ramadan, or some like in some different examples that you would like to share with us. And I'd like to follow the same order. So like, yeah, let's just begin with Mustafa Hocam. So what would you like to say? And then let's move on to Kamal Hocam later.
So Ustad makes more with a story, kind of a story, makes a more vivid
Mhm.
example to
Good. Yeah,
bring
nice.
our imagination,
Mm-hmm.
and to get us closer to the truth, for us to able to understand the reality better.
Yes, certainly.
So the main theme is again is time passing by
Mm-hmm.
swiftly, and the
Absolutely.
changes with the time,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
Mm-hmm.
physical change that we see around
Mm-hmm.
in this short time,
Yeah.
the changes, the decorations that we
Mm-hmm.
see all around. So this is
Mm-hmm.
the end of summer right now,
Yep, yep, yeah.
and we see the changes now. The fall or autumn is
Mm-hmm.
coming. The
Mm-hmm.
seasons are changing. The animals are changing. We didn't see any insects, almost ants and bees, and now
Mm-hmm.
we see all around.
Mm-hmm.
Where I live now, is in the night you see these insects making some sound, right? In
Yeah.
Mediterranean area,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, and you see this, and you don't see them, you don't hear them in the winter. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
things have
Beautiful.
changing
Mm-hmm.
in terms of sound, smell,
Mm-hmm.
maybe
Right,
the
right.
temperature,
Mm-hmm.
and the leaves, the color of the leaves. right?
Of
The
course.
the
Yeah.
plants and everything, and we see all these decorations, and all of
Hmm.
them in
Hmm.
all conditions are pleasing to our eyes and our spirit.
Hmm.
So we see these changes, and somebody that knows us, that knows our desires and our appetite,
Hmm.
uh, decorated this world in this way. And
Hmm.
there's this quite fast changes in this, and we are also getting old, right? We
Of
realize
course. Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
our bodies
absolutely.
are decaying.
Yes,
We are getting old, and so this change has to remind us that this is a transient life. And once
hmm
we realize that transience,
hmm
we should also realize that God is
hmm
controlling all,
hmm
all encompassing,
hmm
post-eternal, pre-eternal, El-Baqi is
Right.
controlling all of them and bringing
hmm
these wagons or caravans to this
hmm
life.
hmm
That all should all remind us that there will be a bliss and a boat that that will not be transient but eternal, and
hmm
we should be prepared for that. And this is what I could gather from this
hmm
example.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for, yeah, just with these great, yeah, examples that you shared with us. Just that reminded me, of course, of just my days in Turkey. That's beautiful. Konuşan, what would you like to add on top of this?
I don't think you should punish Mustafa anymore. That was so
Yeah.
concise,
Yeah,
but
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
difficult to say anything. Maybe I'll just come from a different angle.
Of course.
And if you go back to the beginning,
Hmm.
um, or maybe it's not there, where it says it wasn't built for its own sake. That's a bit further down. Oh, is it the first? I think it's the first of the nine principles that we come to afterwards.
Oh, the first one. Oh, yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, sorry. You will
Hmm.
understand that this world, like the caravanserai, does not exist for its own sake. So
Hmm.
nothing can bring itself into existence.
Hmm.
So everything needs a bringer into existence. And
Hmm.
if we look at existence itself,
Hmm.
existence needs someone to make it existent.
Hmm.
So anything that we see in this world is not there for its own sake, it's there for a reason. So this shows intentionality, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
It's there for a reason. We have to work out what that reason is. And I think Mustafa gave us the key.
Hmm.
He said that Allah knows what appeals to us. We
Hmm.
grow up and we develop in a world that is
Hmm.
understandable and appealing and
Hmm.
instructive, and it's telling us something.
Right.
Now, either it's telling us about itself
Hmm.
or it's telling us about its maker. We have to understand that something cannot tell us about itself. It's like saying a candle exists to light itself. It doesn't. It exists to light everything else for the sake
Hmm.
of everything.
Hmm.
So this idea of everything being self-referential also is basically is like saying, well, it brings itself into existence. We know this is ridiculous. The
Hmm.
very fact that we can understand things, the very fact that things are appealing to us,
Hmm.
the very fact that we love things,
Hmm.
we have this very, very strong love. We have this very, very strong pull
Hmm.
towards everything in creation, everything that Allah has created, because we find in ourselves something which resonates
Hmm.
with that creation. There is a famous philosophical saying, the knower and the known are one.
Hmm.
It's a hada
Hmm.
alim wa ma'lum. So when I
Hmm.
look at the cherry tree, why does it appeal to me? Because there's something in me that is able to understand,
Yeah.
the cherry tree and is able to relate to the names that I see there.
Yeah.
So this is just basically an add-on to what Mustafa said, so
Yeah, right now I
concisely.
am just looking at a charity right in front of me. It's
MashaAllah.
okay.
Really, I am as well. I am as well. But unfortunately, ours has to be shortened because it's too tall. Anyway, uh, but yes, there's something there that appeals to me. Um, so it's not there for its own sake. It's not telling me
Mhm.
about it because it will soon be gone. It'll be
Mhm.
chopped down. But I shall remember, all of the names that I saw in that tree when it's
Mhm.
chopped down.
Mhm.
Generosity, artistic beauty, justice, so many different names that, everyone here knows.
Mhm.
Um, I am created in a world where that takes place.
Mhm.
I am created in a world that I can understand, that appeals to me, and that must mean something because the world goes. What
Mm-hmm.
remains? What remains? The names remain, and
Yeah.
their creator remains.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's quite clear. It says you'll understand that this world doesn't exist for its own sake. It's impossible that it should assume this shape by itself. It is
Mm-hmm.
a well-constructed inn designed to receive the endless caravans of beings which
Mm-hmm.
spend the night and then depart. And again, that is telling. We are
Yeah.
guests and travelers. And then we
Yeah.
can get to the issue further down. Why are we here just for one night? I want to be here forever. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you go to a beautiful hotel, 5 star, now they have 6 and 7 star hotels,
Mm-hmm.
which are crazily, ornate and luxurious.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you go there just for one night, but the hotel is probably as big as a small town.
Right.
And you want to go to all of the different things, and you want to try them. You want to go to the spa, you want to go to the bowling alley, you want to go to the cinema, but you can't. You're just there for one night.
Yeah.
So why
Mm-hmm.
is it? Why have you brought me to this hotel and you've only paid for one night for me, right?
Yeah.
Why can't I stay here for as long as I want?
Right. Yeah.
So this is an
Mm-hmm.
example, really. That's
Mm-hmm.
all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a great reminder. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just now that thinking and just comparing like just our own experiences and everything. Now, just of course, it just opens, yeah, more and more like this. I mean, analogies and examples and different experiences that we have the opportunity to compare. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. And yeah, and I think is there let me see, just maybe there's a comment or something. So what remains are the memoirs and the moments have been shared and the eternal beloved, says Belen. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's great. That's awesome. And I think we have a question. Oh, before like go into Lion, so I forgot to just to ask Said Hojam. So Said Hojam, did we give an ex answer to your question? I apologize. Like I totally forget about it. I forget to check on with you.
Oh, my
Yeah.
question?
Yeah.
Uh, um, not quite actually. I mean, of course,
Mhm.
I know it's not.
Mhm.
It can't be simply answered. In order to
Right. Hmm.
answer my point, I think it should
Hmm.
probably read
Hmm.
carefully
Of course. Hmm.
and sentence by sentence because
Hmm.
it's there. I told
Hmm.
by sequence, but in the
Hmm.
paragraph I skipped some sentences.
Right. Right.
Maybe all
Hmm.
sentences needs to be
Hmm.
read whole
Of
and put the
course.
piece
Yeah.
together. Maybe,
Yeah. Hmm.
but I just
Hmm.
wanted to be addressed, and
Of course.
maybe
Yeah. Hmm.
in future someone
Uh-huh.
uh, put effort and make some conclusion. I don't know. Maybe including me
Certainly.
too. I
Certainly.
couldn't.
Yeah. Certainly. Certainly.
Yes,
Hmm.
and maybe I was going to since you gave me voice, I
Hmm.
can
Hmm.
maybe ask something a little bit related to this. What I
Sure.
recently read
Sure.
this
Go
paragraph.
ahead. Hmm.
It's this is not so details, but
Hmm.
just before principles, 9 principles.
Hmm.
Uh, Ustad says, well, put one conditions there.
Hmm.
If you are able to look at the caravanserai that is worked without collapsing into drunkenness.
Hmm.
So uh, I like to mm,
Hmm.
highlight this being collapsing into drunkenness. So we were sent this caravanserai and mesmerizing what we are
Hmm.
witnessing, right? So uh, this putting collapsing the directness in here
Hmm.
is like losing yourself for what you are witnessing for the mesmerizing beauty,
Hmm.
or lost forgetting the purpose, or you just noticing it because it also says that it's um, destroy because the everyday
Hmm.
owner changed and decor caravans right destroy.
Hmm. Hmm.
We also being witness destruction that in
Hmm.
caravanserai too. It's evil
Hmm.
things maybe,
Yeah.
but we don't like to give up. So is this both way? How should we understand the collapsing in the darknessness? I mean, or
Hmm.
either is correct, just being mesmerized and just effect of so beauty and glorious surrounding, or intentionally putting ourselves collapsing into darknesses because of we can't help it, the suffering, because we see amazing events, but we also see also distractions out of our control.
Yeah, yeah.
Can I
Well,
address that?
yeah, I think I get it. Yeah,
Okay.
just I think it's the second one, but I'd like to just call on Kulnujam. So what would you like to
I think Saeed makes an excellent point.
uh-huh.
I never thought of that because I was thinking
Hmm.
collapsing into drunkenness on account of being mesmerized by everything that's
Hmm.
here
Yeah,
and becoming enamored and falling in love with everything
right.
for its own
Hmm.
sake. But at the same time, he makes a very interesting point,
Hmm.
is that if we become full of despair
Hmm.
from the fact that, right, I'm here and I want this and it's beautiful, but I have to go
Hmm.
because I'm going to die and I happen not to believe in the akhirah,
Hmm.
right? If that's an unbeliever, then
Hmm.
they have to anesthetize themselves
Hmm.
against the constant reminders of painfulness.
Yeah.
So I think it's both.
Hmm.
There was a very, very, percipient question
Hmm.
that he
Hmm.
asked,
Yes.
and I think it makes us look at it from both sides, actually.
Absolutely, absolutely, isn't it? Yeah, that's a great question. Like it's yeah, just but I totally agree with you. Just it should be kind of like in a both. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's just you're getting lost, and at the same time, of course, I mean, if you somehow like lack the belief in hereafter, and of course, I'm just what are you gonna do? Of course, just collapse into drunkenness. Yeah, yeah,
I think
absolutely.
it's one thing
Hmm.
to get lost, and
Hmm.
you haven't asked to get lost, and it's
Hmm.
another thing to purposefully lose yourself.
Purposefully use it. Yeah. Yes,
So I
sir.
think it's both.
That's both. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Great question, Saluja. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, now let's just go to Lion. So thanks a lot for the wait. Yeah, go ahead, Lion. Yes, Mujal, could you help us? I think Lion is asking for permission. So
Yes, please.
yeah,
Okay,
go ahead. Yeah, now we can hear you. Yeah.
thank you very much.
Go ahead,
No problem. I want to ask a question and also
please.
I want to make a comment.
Hmm.
And let's come to first principle and second principle. That
Hmm.
paragraph, please.
Yes, right here.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Just I want to try combine
Hmm.
first principle and second principle, and then make a comment also, and also question. What is stressed here in first principle? It is, you see,
Hmm.
talk about it is well constructed in or
Hmm.
hostelry designed to receive the endless caravans of beings which one after the other arrive, spend the night, and then depart again.
Hmm.
Here, the place and time, and
Hmm.
people are coming and going. Duration of the time we spend in this caravan, you
Hmm.
see,
Hmm.
one night, even one night,
Hmm.
very short
Yeah.
time. The
Yes.
first thing, and
Hmm.
also place, very nice place, caravan,
Absolutely.
decorated and etc. Second principle, it says us
Hmm.
we are all guests because in caravans we don't own the caravan. We are all guests, travelers. Just we
Hmm.
stay and then one night and then we go because we
Hmm.
are travelers. But where we are going, where we came to this caravan and where we are going after this caravan. It
Hmm.
says in the second principle, they are invited by their generous sustainer to the abode of peace.
Hmm.
So when we combine first principle and second principle,
Hmm.
we are in this world like a caravan, and
Hmm.
this world is decorated, alhamdulillah, very nice for us, for the guests. But these guys are like you, me here. We will not stay here long time. This is a
Hmm.
short time. That's
Hmm.
why we should understand that we are transient people
Hmm.
we are transient people or creatures in this caravan. So this is so important one. It says us and do here because this is short time and we ask ourselves, what is the next destination after this caravan? Of course,
Mhm.
hereafter. It is simple to say hereafter right now, but during the real society and very busy days, we forget many things. Even we don't know we are located in this caravan. Even
Mhm.
sometimes we forget we are travelers.
Yeah.
We as if we'll as if we will stay here permanently.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
I want you with our you and also
Mhm.
hojams and
Mhm.
brothers to talk about some advice that remind us not to forget that we are here
Mhm.
travelers, we are here guests. Actually,
Mhm.
the caravan here, like a Allah created this caravan like a guest house, guest
Mhm.
house for us, and we are very, very guests, but honorable guests, not
Mhm.
normally guests. Because how we understand that we are honorable guests? Because this caravan is so decorated and
Mhm.
it is awesome, and we are not ordinary guests here.
Mhm.
For this perspective, let me remind Quranic perspective. In ayah,
Mhm.
I took a note. Allah says, the life of this world is nothing but play and amusement.
Mhm.
But the home of the hereafter is best for those who are mindful. It
Mhm.
means no, who doesn't forget that they are here guests and also travelers. So
Mhm.
let me finish like
Mhm.
this. Wisdom behind this temporary, transient life. What is the wisdom? What
Mhm.
does it say to us? It says us we are in testing, not
Mhm.
resting. We are
Mhm.
tested by many questions in daily life, in routine life. But sometimes, because of heedlessness or forgetfulness, we don't really realize that we are in testing. But sometimes we feel that this is a permanent place and we will stay here for a long time. And
Mhm.
we forget our duties why we are sent to this world, but
Mhm.
we are trying to rest in.
Mhm. Mhm.
And also the pleasures that are given us, many pleasures, many different things, are the joys, examples which imply that since we are travelers, the real joy, eternal joy is waiting for us, which is called
Mhm.
paradise.
Mhm.
And we should work for that eternal destination to get paradise, not to lose paradise, not to be punished in hell, the next life, like Mustafa abi says today.
Mhm.
Thank
Mhm.
you, sir.
Thank you, Lion.
You
Yeah,
are
it was a
welcome.
great, like, yeah, very comprehensive. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, like, a great comment, and of course, I'm just great question. But actually, that is a very difficult question. The only thing that, since you asked, also my opinion as well. So just so far, like what we have read, and what we have, like, it's been stopped, like, from last week. So it's just basically. I think like we even underlined it last week. So it says like just now that they show like behind the closed doors that the most splendid kingship has the reins of all things in its hand. So just Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so He created us, He invited us to this short amount of time, like in this place, that hostile caravanserai that we're gonna stay. And of course, whatever that He is offering us is gonna be also our test and arena of trial. So we're gonna be examined. So just tested, of course, that this an examination kind of like an arena. So yeah, like you just said, like of course, I mean, just how can we help? So of course, I mean, this is a great kind of platform that we were reminding each other. So that's what my kind of short answer. But now I'd like to go to Konlajam and Stovajam. What would you like to say to Lion's question, and how would you like to maybe summarize altogether the first principles, second principles? What would be your advice and suggestions as he is asking as a comment?
I wasn't quite sure of the
Mhm.
question.
It
How
was
do we remind
comprehensive. Yeah.
ourselves? How do we
Yeah.
remind ourselves of these first principles?
Mhm.
Um, well, firstly, I think Lion mentioned
Mhm.
al-hayatud dunya,
Mhm.
which is usually translated as the life of this world. But actually, this
Mhm.
world is not about lahun wa la'ib, right? Play and
Mhm.
I don't know how it's translated.
Right.
But the verse is this I think it's al hayatul dunya is
Mhm.
nothing but play and something else.
Mhm.
But al hayatul dunya we have to retranslate it because worldly life doesn't really mean very much. The
Mhm.
lowest form of life is the life which thinks that this world is all that there is.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then it becomes play and amusement.
Yeah.
But actually, it's a serious business. It's like
Mhm.
at school, when you go to school, it's a place where you're going to be taught and you're going to be examined.
Mhm.
It's not a place to play around.
Yeah.
Those who play around go there just for fun.
Mhm.
They are not interested in the teaching and they're not interested in the examination.
Yeah.
So the basest kind of life, al hayatud
Mhm.
dunya, the lowest kind of life, is the kind of life that thinks that the nearest things to it, in other words,
Mhm.
dunya, are there for their own sake.
Mhm.
And so we have to remind ourselves that we're
Yeah.
here for a purpose.
Mhm.
And every day, 5 times a
Mhm.
day, actually
Mhm.
17 times a day, if you count the raka'at,
Yeah.
we say, إِيَّاكَ
Mhm.
نَعْبُدُ وَإِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. We worship you and we worship you anyway, whether we know it or not.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But we have to know that we worship. We
Yeah.
have to be conscious that we worship because everyone worships Allah, even unbelievers.
Mhm.
And also, إِيَّاكَ نَسْتَعِينُ. You are the one from whom we ask for help.
Mhm.
We can't help ourselves. The cherry tree can't help us.
Mhm.
The world can't help us. Animals, clouds, rivers can't help us. Only you can help us. We're not here
Yeah.
to have
Mhm.
fun
Mhm.
just for
Mhm.
the sake of having fun.
Mhm.
You may be here as an abd, and you may also have fun. Nice fun, benign fun, halal
Mhm.
fun.
Mhm.
But that's not the main purpose of it. So to remind ourselves, namaz is the best reminder.
Mhm.
If we do it properly, obviously, if we do it with with
Mhm.
uh, with consciousness and with awareness,
Mhm.
that's as much as I can say really.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just like especially that when you use like a reminder, yeah, of course. And just namaz, like it's a great kind of reminder of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of course, the iman is the number one. So like I mean the purpose is never changed, right? So there's a there's Allah and there's of course hereafter. So like this is why are we here? Of course, reminding ourselves again and again. So about the belief, about the iman, and the most and more important, of course, is that iman again and again. Mustafa Hocam, what would you like to add? What Kulna Hocam said, and to address Lion's comment.
I was thinking about adding something, but
Mhm.
Ezan is calling, so I guess it gives me the answer.
Good, good,
So
very good.
Ezan itself
Yeah,
is the answer.
absolutely.
I can add
Absolutely.
something, inshallah. Then
Oh, you got it, Hocam. Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
driving, but inshallah,
Yeah.
Allah is also reminding us that
Mhm.
we are here in guest and then transient as
Mhm.
well by giving us some kind of challenges and illness and all these musibats like calamities. That those are going to remind us as well that this world is transient and then we will be here just short time. And
Mhm.
remember that there are a lot of the people, businessmen, that they can easily get bankrupt and then go bankrupt. I mean, we
Mhm.
saw that a
Mhm.
number of times, and they change their lifestyles. And some
Mhm.
people can get a like open heart surgery that their lifestyle is going to be completely changed, which is
Mhm.
like this is a great if we can understand really that the manifestation of Ismail style
Mhm.
divine names that we can understand that okay, well, if there is some kind of like a sickness, Allah is reminding me that his name is the Shifa, and then we can remember
Mhm.
clearly that those divine names, and then we can clearly understand that okay, this is something a really transient world, and then we are going to leave either
Mhm.
really short time or a little bit longer, but we are going to leave eventually. And I
Mhm.
saw that the number of examples that I can give that people that they were president and then 6 months later that they were nothing, and
Mhm.
then there were a lot of things that is going to be just
Mhm.
uh, coming or facing challenges. Those type of challenges is going to remind. The important part is that the understanding of that all these challenges and everything that we hear that we face is just coming from Allah, and then that is going to be really helpful. Even like a wealthy lifestyle, or just being poor, incompetent, and everything that is going to remind us here is really just a transient world. And I don't need to give more examples, but Allah is clearly reminding us, and that this is a really transient world, and we are just guests, and then we are gonna leave soon, and that's what. Remember that in different parts of the Risale that Ustad says, every single Sufism or other parts of the Tariqat has a different um, route or path that they can remind this world is the transient. Like remember that the Rabtai Mavt, or thinking about the Mavt or dying, and we remember that still that there were lots of scholars that they were going to grave after 63, that then they said that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam just died after 63, so I don't want to leave after more. And this is something I need to remember all that. Well, that's what they said. And this is something that they need to remember, that there is a map.
Right.
Although our meshab and just the path is a little bit different, but there's a lot of ways that the people, or just Muslims, is just reminding themselves, both internally and externally as well. We can easily see that reminder, and the important part that I was going to say, that Allah is reminding us. Anything that we see really that inside or outside, then we can understand, okay, Allah is just showing us and testing us. And then the important part is that after that, how we respond to those tests is one of the most important part, which is that the answer. So the question is coming when the calamities, illness and sickness or challenges comes, but the answer is important, so that in hereafter that this is we may say inshallah that Ya Rabbi, that we answer that question is this way, by remembering you and thinking about following the Sunnah and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Quran. This is what I understood and what I follow. Okay, I think this is too much. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, Hikmet. Yeah, really appreciate it for the comment. Yeah, just like one of the last comments. And before I forget, so there the couple of just comments like just been left in the chat box, and I'd like to just now address. And Bilan said just gave the ayah, of course, and it reminded us. And there's a question about like it's been from CA. My question is why my heart cannot accept that this world is a temporary place. I cannot convince it. But that's a great kind of question, great comment. So let's just leave that question over there. So because what have been like would have been like in a reading and everything is just basically trying to answer that question. Of course, I mean convince ourselves. And I promise we're gonna start with that, inshallah, next week. And this was a great kind of conversation, great discussion that we had like today. I really benefited a lot. Thank you so much for everyone from Kul Nujam to Mustafa Hojam and Igmil Hojam and Lion and Saeed Hojam and everyone who contributed. I really loved it. But inshallah, so we're gonna start again like in a very similar kind of first place principle, second principle, and continue and address CA's question or comment about like just how can we convince our maybe just the heart and everything just fully with the help of course, I mean just Quran and of course Risala in order to address it once again, of course. Thank you so much again for taking the time and being with us, all panelists.
Thank you, Nazi, for your
You-
wonderful moderating as well.
Welcome. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you, Ms. Khan.
And before I forget, Mujan, please come back and just recite some Quran and make dua, and inshallah, let's end it for this week's meeting.
إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالصبر وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. صدق الله العظيم. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. اللهم فهمنا أسرار القرآن ووفقنا لخدمته في كل آن وزمان. Ameen. O Allah, grant us understanding of the mysteries of the Quran and success in the service of it at every instant of at all times. Inshallah. Ameen. Wa akhiru da'wana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Al-Fatiha.